Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of Greatest's Let's Play series, season 1 on modded Minecraft with the DAO 20 pack. So, we left this with, last episode, with new machines, induction smelter, new type of power, and power storage, and of course, a way to actually properly extract these. In this case, we just change them to output mode and they'll output into the generator as needed. Also, more handily here, quick source of obsidian now is that we can connect the same fluid duct into the side of the igneous extruder, and it also looks like it's backed up. Stuffed item, it says. Why is that? That's because we've completely filled the barrel. 128 stacks of 64 items per stack. That's a lot. I think that's 8,000. Yeah, I can't remember exactly. Easiest way to change this is just switch it to cobblestone, but actually, yeah, cobblestone will do for now. So we'll just take that out. And cobble gets produced. Unfortunately, however, the stone is still stuck in here. It can't go anywhere. So all we need to do is just break this and replace it. Like that. And now there goes our cobblestone, and it's going to fill the cobblestone barrel, which is not full size 128, but that's not going to take too long either. What I did between the last episode and this one was make some obsidian. All you need to do is switch it to this mode, but when you do, it's going to use up the lava, which is going to pull from this system, just like the power system does, and it's going to empty these quite quickly. So it's not yet an unlimited obsidian source, but it is really a nice, easy way to get it, instead of having to go and bucket transfer any kind of lava. So what do I want to get to in this episode? Tools. Lots and lots of tools. Before we get there though, a lot of our inventory is starting to really fill up with all kind of miscellaneous stuff. Let's upgrade it. We're going to use a mod called iron chests. And to do that, what we're going to need is, well, we could build an iron chest, but usually in this case, we're going to upgrade it. So what we want to do with that, if I remember rightly, is circle of iron, along with, is it wood or is it boards? Probably boards. Planks, I should say. There we go. Wood to iron chest upgrade. And these are very nice. And actually gets rid of one of my biggest bugbears. I don't like double chests, and I really don't have to stack them like this either. So let's upgrade them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got 1 spare, so why not demonstrate the chest itself? So we can build a chest. Yeah, I'm not going to surround that with iron. Let's just drop it down somewhere. Really? You're just going to face that way? There we go. So All of these are now half full because they've had the inventory divided from the earlier double chests. So we need to kind of sort them out anyway, which I'll do between episodes. There's no point watching me sort this kind of stuff. But more importantly, we can store a lot more stuff. And yeah, the strong boxes really isn't something we should be storing things in like this. We can put this around with us to store lots of stuff, by all means, but no need to store it for the main metal supply. A lot of that's in barrels now, and yeah, we go from here. So that's our inventory upgraded. What do we want to do next? Next, we want to do tools, as we've said earlier. So we're going to need to build a few different tool stations. Stencil table, part crafter, pattern chest, tool station, and maybe a tool forge. In fact, let's build a tool forge as well. So we need 3 of those same bricks, blocks that we use outside, and 4 blocks of iron. That sounds expensive, but yeah, we've got enough iron to do that kind of thing. So let's make, we want 36 iron, I think. Yeah, so we've got those blocks. Pick that up as well. I need those. Everything else is pretty much just wood. So hoping we've got enough. May need some more. Hope that's enough. If not, then we will go and get some more. Let's sleep this off, and we're going to put these outside, right next to the smeltery. Let's start out with first thing. So we want a pattern table. So let's just put this crafting table down. We need blank pattern. And a plank. Fair enough. Easy enough. 1. Okay. Right, that's the first one. And usually put these in a line, so why not just put them here, I think. By the way, because I created a stencil table, I now got the third book. Put that back in the shelf, and I'll show you what's in there shortly. Put a table, and you can put plank stencils in there. Next is the part crafter, so that's a pattern and a log, and then a pattern and a chest, and then a pattern and this. So we're going to have 3 patterns anyway. So we're going to need 6 planks, and there we go. So 3 blank patterns, that's what we need. So 1 with a log, part builder. We want a chest. Yeah. I think I've got a spare chest. Can't really use iron chests for this, sorry. So we need an actual normal chest. Just in case. There's one. You'll do. Chest and a blank pattern. And I generally put this here, so we want this between the part builder and the next item, which is the what's it called? tool station. But we'll probably jump straight up to the tool forge. The tool forge can do everything the tool station can, plus some more stuff. So we want this crafting station back. And the pattern. Tool station. And we want to make that into a tool forge, don't we? So station, lots and lots of iron, and seared blocks, bricks even. Tool forge. And I may even move that bookshelf out here. These 4 things are going to comprise pretty much everything you're going to be doing to build tools with the smeltery. I'm going to get some materials and be right back. Right, first question I'm going to ask is, why would you want these tools? Well, the normal kind of tools you use obviously have durability, and once they get to the bottom of this, they're going to break. Tinker's construct tools don't. You can always just add more of the source material you use to make the tool and to repair them. All good. But you can also start to add bonuses onto the tools in the same way that you might do with vanilla enchants, but these are very much controllable, and all you're doing is adding more and more raw materials, and depending on how you build the tool, you can build them to be much faster than the actual tools you get with Minecraft. Even when you're talking about some of the gem tools, and I may have not mentioned these before, by the way, but instead of using diamonds, if you see gemstones in the walls, just pick up rubies, sapphires, all that kind of stuff. Make the same kind of vanilla tools, but in this case, they're almost as good as diamond, so may as well use those until you get to Tinker's construct. So how does this work? First of all, let's make some blank patterns. Eight will do for now. And we can drop them in the first table. Now, when you're making tools, things are split into 2 halves. If they're metal, then generally you'll be using the smeltery into a cast, like we did before with a cast for the ingot. You'll be casting pieces to assemble together into full tools. If it's not metal, you're likely using this part builder to construct a part. And for example, you could have a part made out of paper. You wouldn't be using smeltery. I wouldn't like to see you try smelting paper. That would be interesting. Molten paper, maybe you'd mod for that. So you'd build it using this. And this is the pattern chest is just the storage for all those patterns that you're going to create. So let's just take an example. We want a tool rod pattern. So yeah, we'll have one of those. And pickaxe head pattern, yes, we'll have one of those. And then we're looking for a binding, which just ties the 2 together. Tool binding. Okay, that's 3. Just drop them in here. And as you can see, you can access it from the part builder. You can access the chest on the left-hand side. So in this case, because we want to make this out of metal, we need to make a cast. And a cast, remember, you put the metal into the you put the piece into the table and pour metal onto it to make a cast. Right now, we don't have any metal in there, so let's add some of this aluminium brass. Right, while that's cooking up, we want something to make the cast around. So let's make it out of stone. You get the stone pickaxe head. That's great. Now we just have to wait for this to cook up. Be right back. And it's melted. Obviously, this is why that window is so good. Let's take the ingot cast out there because we don't want that. And we can put the pickaxe head on the table. Pour this out. Pour this out. And we end up with a cast. And a piece of junk. well, not completely a piece of junk, but yeah, we don't need it. Now, we have a pickaxe head cast. Suppose we could make an aluminium brass pickaxe head, but we don't want that. So let's just dump this back in. And we may well get our ingots back for this case. This book you received when we started making these stations. So open it up. And inside, obviously it says here, there's tools, materials, and modifiers. Tools are just the pieces, obviously the pickaxe head, just like we just made, a tool rod, and a tool binding. Lots of different types of tools, don't worry about those. Then there's a material section, so this changes the actual damage they do, or the mining speed. Obviously wood is quite slow. Where we want to go? Cactus, obsidian, bone, yes, that's all very good. Okay, netherrack's pretty good. Mining speed isn't so great, so you wouldn't want to make the head out of it, but it has stonebound, and stonebound lets you, as the durability of the tool goes down, the damage it does goes up. So that's a very good thing to have. That said, we don't have any netherrack because we've not been to the nether yet. One of the things we actually do want to build is an alamite pick. Why? Because when we go to the nether, we're going to be able to mine some new metals. One of them is cobalt, the other one is ardite. And the only tool that can actually do that is an alamite pick. So we need to know how to make alamite. Similarly, we don't need to make the whole pick out of it. We can add other modifiers onto it, and we'll go into that in a second. But for now, we need to know how to make alamite. And that's where your third book comes in handy. So if we have a look, here we are, alamite, made from 5 aluminium, 2 iron, 2 obsidian. Remember this whole thing about doubling again, so if you have my 5, I'm going to use aluminium ore, that's effectively 10 aluminium. So I'm going to need then 4 iron, and I'm not sure about obsidian whether it counts as ore. Let's put 2 in to start off with. So 2 obsidian, 4 iron, 5 aluminium ore. Be right back when that's cooked up. And as you can see, everything's melted down. The obsidian did count as an ore, so it did get doubled along with everything else. And we've got 6 molten alumite. So we want to make the pickaxe head out of the alumite. Put the cast down. And this is one of the advantages of the casting basin. Once you enter into the basin, everything's empty here. We could just dump in more stuff to create entirely different items. We can just use this as a kind of a buffer. And the rest we can keep for another day, just make it into ingots. Okay, done. So that's the head of the pickaxe. What about the rest? Well, this is when it starts to sound a little odd, but we're going to be using paper. And paper is very good for letting us add modifications to the item. Modifications could be stuff like luck, so we could get more, like fortune enchantment in vanilla. It could be the speed, so everything's much faster. So let's just take the tool binding and some paper. And we've got a paper binding, that's the second part. So if I put this in here, we've got a pickaxe somewhere. There we go. Alamite head, paper binding, and now we need a tool rod. So what materials can we use? Could use iron, could use stone. Again, stone has stone bound. It has 65 durability if you use stone versus much more if you use iron. Paper, there's not a lot of durability at all on paper. So for now, I think we'll just go with stone. That'll be fine. We can improve it later. We've got all these extra alamite ingots. We can get some better materials later, but for the moment, let's just take that out. Use stone, and we end up with this shard. You could build a second one with the shard as well if you wanted to. So now, helps choose the right recipe. Pickaxe, stonebound, writable, and reinforced too. And you can see on the right hand side over there, modifiers remaining will be 4. So if I just name it Nether pick, done. Now then, one of the things that you can actually put on your tools, and it'll take up a modifier slot, but it is kind of handy, is moss, and that comes from mossy cobblestone, which if you remember way back in episode 1 or maybe 2, we found a dungeon. So I happened to pick up some of that mossy cobblestone. Here it is. I'm not sure if you do need to do anything special with it. It's in the book actually. Auto repair. Attaching moss to a tool infuses it with life. Tool appears to be capable of regenerating wear and tear. In the daytime, it does it more often than not. So we just need to make the moss. Okay, yeah, we just needed more. There we go. So this, much like everything else, I think we'll need to do in the tool outside. If you need to repair tools or modify them in any way, just open it up to its default recipe, which is this top left one. Drop your tool in, wherever, and whatever you want to do to it. In this case, we're going to add moss. It'll reduce the modifiers remaining to 3. That's fine. What else are we going to do to it? Well, I wouldn't mind some luck, and I wouldn't mind it to be a bit faster. So to do that, we use lapis. And we use redstone. And in this case, I'm going to make some redstone blocks. Show why in a second. So let's start with lapis, I think. You drop a stack in, or however many you want, and you'll see it says lapis 1 of 450 and modifiers remaining 2. Now, every time I pick this up and put it back in again, this is going to stay as it is, and we can continue applying it As you see, it says look on the pick. That could take a while. I'm not going to do that all on camera. One thing we could do is the redstone now. I could just put redstone in. Again, it's 1 at a time and modifiers remaining 1. But if you put the block of redstone with it, it comes up to 10 at a time. So we can do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now, there's 1 modifier remaining. If I put more redstone on to make it even faster, it would use up another modifier, and this would go up to 100, and it would continue to get faster. But really, I'm not going to need much more than this for this kind of pick. So I'm going to go off camera now and use up the rest of the lapis to make this. Actually, I should have noticed you can do the same thing to the lapis that you did with the redstone. I'll do this much quicker. That's up to 53. Again, 450 lapis is 1 modifier amount, so it needs an awful lot of lapis lazuli to actually increase the look. So I'm not going to do too much of it just now. Yeah, that should be fine for now. All used up. 1 stack. Why do we build another pick? Well, that's where we're going to be going next. The Nether. So, we just built a standard kind of building out here for the Nether portal. It's pretty standard, so there's nothing really too much to show you here, other than how badly I could die when I go through. There, it's lit. The portal's up, and let's really hope for a good spawn. In fact, just because I'm paranoid. Here we go. Yeah, this isn't too bad. We're not in lava. We're not 400 meters above the surface like normal. At least in my look. And yeah, we could build this around here. Alright, I'll get to that and come back once the surround's built. And we're done. Now, one big advantage of the current version of Morph, which is the mod lets you change it to different shapes if you've killed them before, should be, if I remember rightly, that once you've been to the Nether once, you're then able to fly, which is very good. So let's just give that a try. Yeah, there we go. We've got our Nether pick. We can use the square brackets to change between different forms and press tilde to favorite a form. I've currently favorited the bat. Don't have a blaze in here yet, so we can press tilde anywhere and change it to bat. Now this is going to be really quite useful, as you can see, mining. Oh great, spiders. Let's get rid of these first. This is cobalt. This is exactly why we made this pick. Cobalt is the fastest kind of mining pick you can make, but cobalt itself can only really be mined by alamite. So this is why we have an alamite pick. And in the same way, we can use it for ardite. Can I see any ardite around? We definitely want that glowstone, that much is for certain. But ardite. Small yellowy kind of block. And this is how rare these ores are, by the way. If you look around on the recording, you'll notice that there aren't a great deal of them. They're in amongst all of these, and we'll take nether quartz wherever we can get it. Because we're bat as well, we can fit in a 1x1 space, which is even handier when we come to making fluid passageways and stuff like that back at the base. Nether quartz is one of the many things, including glowstone, that you will just run out of very quickly, no matter what you're really doing. And I can't see any ore. I'm going to cut and come back when I find some. Here we are, right near where we were. This is ardite. And a combination of those two will make an alloy called manulin. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't think anyone can pronounce the damn thing right. But manulin is a really good alloy for making all kinds of things, like swords. There we go. So I'm going to go around, hunt for more cobalt, hunt for more ardite, and see what we can get, and then head back to the base. See you then. One other quick thing, right next to our portal, so if you're following along, you should be in the same place roughly, is this. And this is why we want the ender tank, because all of this is going to be a huge power source for our power generation for the foreseeable future. Back in a minute. And we're back in the overworld. And we got a pretty good haul. We've got 19 cobalt ore, 3 of which I'm actually smelting, and 18 ardite. That's quite a lot of both of those materials. There is a way to triple those materials using a mod called factorization, which is included, but right now it's a bit beyond me. I've done it before, but there's a lot of manual stuff in there, and there's some turtles needed, and other bits to make it fully automated. So we'll come back to that one and make that actually automated for this kind of thing in future, maybe for gold, that kind of thing. So now we just have to wait for this to smelt down. Once it is, I'm going to come back and I'm going to make a pickaxe head out of it, and maybe another paper binding, and probably alamite for the tool rod. The reasons for those is that if you look at the materials, cobalt is the fastest mining speed by default. It's 11. If we look at paper, that obviously has the writable mechanics, so we can add more modifiers. In particular, we're going to be able to add moss to it then for pretty much for free. And then alamite. Was it alamite? No, it wasn't alamite I'm thinking of. It was ardite. Ardite handle to give it stone bound. So as it reduces in durability, it increases in damage, and away we go from that. So we're going to have to cook up some ardite too. But let's come back when all that's done, and I'll start adding some modifiers. One quick note, by the way, as the handle is ardite, it's going to have to be made. We need a cast for it first. So make a stone tool rod, then make a cast with some aluminium brass, and then make your ardite melt, and then pour it into the cast. So now we've got a cobalt pickaxe head, paper binding, and the ardite tool rod, and this will make us our pickaxe with writable, and this is the faster pick, maybe fastest pick, faster pick. That'll do for now. Done. But we're not going to finish there, of course. We're going to make some modifications, which is always the best idea. Okay, this is going to end up using a lot of our lapis. Let's just stow some of this other stuff. And a lot of our redstone as well, but it is, when I don't use the wrong amounts, it is actually really worthwhile. So 5 redstone, I will take the rest. So the redstone again will make it quicker. The lapis will give us some luck, i.e. fortune, and the moss will make it repair. And just like the one in the alamite pick for mining cobalt, this is mainly for up here in the overworld while we mine stuff this way. So first of all, let's make it self-repair. Great. 3 modifiers remaining. Let's give it some fortune. And we don't have enough lapis now, so let's just move on to speed. Now, if you've noticed, the cobalt mining speed was 11, it's now to 15, and we can keep on going with this as well. So, while I don't have enough at the moment, we can continue adding on to this once we're done. Now, we used 2 modifiers on the redstone, so it was up to 50, but we just went beyond that because I want faster and faster pickaxe. Lapis, only 1 modifier gives you 450, and the 4th modifier was for moss. If you have a diamond and a block of gold, you can add them into these 2 slots, and that will give you another modifier. You can continue to add speed onto it if you want to, but at this point, this is going to be pretty fast. And also will repair itself, so you shouldn't really ever break it. I just pop downstairs. Yeah, I mean that's almost instant as it is, but we can get even faster than that. So that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you've all now got great mining tools. As you see, there's durability at the bottom of the screen. Please don't forget to subscribe or leave a comment in the section below. Come back with any suggestions you have. Otherwise, next episode, maybe more nether stuff. Maybe try to get rid of these. That's probably a good idea. We want all of that good lava oceans in the nether. Thanks very much for watching.